So, you guys may be wondering, why on earth would I be building a mining rig? Mining's dead. Well, I'm not technically building a mining rig. Um, I'm sort of going to be setting up a mining rig build with this guy right here. But actually, um, this setup is hard at work right now. My first test rental on Octa.Space's rental market. And it now has been rented fully for half a day or so. Actually, I'll jump into the computer and show you guys that. But right now, I have this build right here, which is a 4070 Super, 1 terabyte NVMe SD, and I believe, oh God, I'll tell you exactly how much RAM is in there now. But this is a AI setup doing salad work right now, and it's really not getting that many jobs. And I just put this 3070 Ti over on Octa.Space, and I'm telling you, the demand seems to be a little different between Salad and Octa depending on the hardware. So I actually have these three 4090 AI builds running on Salad, and they've been doing all right. You know, it hasn't been bad. This is my Quai node, so this is actually not an AI rental. It would make a pretty good AI rental, but it's not. It's currently being a node. So what I want to show you guys today is how to set up your own Octa.Space rental. And they are doing more than just AI work. There is render and mining rig rentals and compute and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to show you guys that right now.
All right, guys. So before we get started and I show you how to set up a rental on Octa.Space's marketplace, I just wanted to look at Salad, which is what I've had this exact build that I'm going to be putting on Octa's marketplace rented for about the last, I think I have like exactly 21 days or so. And so it hasn't really done too much revenue. Unfortunately, I've had this 4070 Super on the exact same power strip or as PDU as my 34090s because I was just trying to monitor the aggregate power and total revenue. And so I can't separate out exactly how much is from this build, but when I move this over to Octa.Space right now and show you guys how to do it, I'm going to put it on its own watt meter, so we'll be able to determine that. And I don't know if you know this, but with Grok or any of the AI, you can just with Grok at least, you can just take a screenshot and ask for the average, and it'll give it to you. I find that very effective. So it's been doing about $1.07 a day. This isn't the full 21 days. I screenshotted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So an average of 17 days, we're doing $1.07, but unfortunately I don't know the exact power. But once we move it over to Octa, I will measure that. All right, guys, so the first thing that you're going to need to do is to come on over into the Octa.Space docs page. And you're going to want to take your time and go through some of this stuff. I will leave a link in the video description, but I'm going to kind of move through this pretty fast just to get it done and make it easy and simple for you guys. But, feel free to take your time and look at all this stuff. The first thing that I want to draw your attention to is the hardware requirements, mainly because you can make your build set up to be more appealing to different types of renters. Octa.Space has different reasons that somebody would go onto their marketplace to rent, right? They offer VPN services, compute, so you can think like AI type of work, as well as rendering. Now it's not on the docs page yet, I don't think. Yeah, no, it's not. But you can put up here a mining rig for getting rented as well, which would be way under spec for some of this stuff. However, right now the build that I'm putting up here obviously is going to be targeting like these kind of AI compute renters, and so I have a flash drive here with Ubuntu 22.04 that I use Balena Etcher to flash onto here. And I'll leave links in the video description so that you guys can download Ubuntu. I'm going to do it with the desktop version. You can use the server as well, but I'll do it with the desktop version and flash it right to Ubuntu. It's nice and easy. So once you have that going, then we will get everything set up.
All right, so before we get this set up, I just want to give you guys the specs here. So we got the 4070 Super in here, and then I'm running a 1 terabyte NVMe M2 drive, And then RAM, I got 40 gigs. Yeah, 40 gigs at PC 3200 megahertz. And then it's a Ryzen 5700X on here. So a pretty decent system. So I just wanted to let you guys know exactly what it was. And then we're going to migrate this bad boy over to Octa right now, see how it does. Okay. Let's turn her on. Yeah, so if you guys don't happen to have, like, you know, the PDU that I was talking about, so this measures, oh man, I don't know if you're going to see that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so 745 watts or 600, whatever, 700-ish, 900 are getting pulled by all the salad rigs going in here. But I pulled this, you know, server, if you will, off of there, and it's these things come in handy if, you know, you want to individually test things and track exactly how many watts you're using. And they're only like 20 bucks on Amazon. I think it's like $29, something like that. So yeah, let's get her turned on. Oh shit, we booted up to Windows. All right, so I'm going to reboot this up to this flash drive now. All right, so here we are, ready to install Ubuntu. We're going to do English, and then we are going to do a normal installation. We'll let it install any drivers, and continue. The important part is going to be making sure we line up the partition properly. It's pretty easy and simple though. So when it loads, you're going to get to this screen. If you had Linux installed in it before, you probably don't really need this guide. I had Windows on here before, and so, you know, I'm going to click something else. You're going to want to click something else so you can kind of decide exactly what you want your partitions to look like. And then now I'm going to delete all the partitions. So this is the USB drive I'm on, so I don't want to delete that. So I am going to get rid of all the other partitions that are on here. It was actually Windows. You can see the NTFS. So we're gonna goodbye them. We're gonna gone them. And then now we have our 1 terabyte, and this is where we're going to set everything up. So you're gonna come over here and you're going to add, and then you want to do first your EFI partition. You should do about 500 oops, wrong keyboard. You should do about 500 megabytes for that. If this will type for me here, let's get this going. Come on now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so 500 megabytes we're going to have as the EFI, and we're going to do OK, and it should create that. Yep, there we go. Next, we're going to grab all this free space. Make sure we're not, make sure we're in the actual 1 terabyte here. And we're going to create the main partition. Make sure you choose, X4, extended forward journalist, just whatever this is, and then do your mount point, the backslash here. And okay, now let's double check that. So we got our 500 megabytes of our EFI, and then we got our extended forward there. And I'll show you what to do next after we get this going. You're gonna need the XFS file system, but we're gonna get to that in a second. So here we go. Continue. Okay, and then you're gonna let that do its thing. Okay, so I got my password, my user, my password. I'm just gonna have it log in automatically, and here it goes. It is now formatting. Quickly. All right, hopefully you guys can see that okay. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is fire up a terminal here, and then log in as root, which I have already done, and then you're gonna do apt update. I did already run apt update there, so it's all good to go. And then we're going to do apt upgrade, and let that run. Yes, it's going to take a minute or two, and we want to install a couple things before we get going here. So later in the setup, we are going to need to run a curl command. So we're just going to go ahead and do apt install curl and grab that. Oh, it's not going to work because we're doing this. Now, well, the other very important thing that we need is to check and make sure, as per the docs, the Octa docs, that we have the NVIDIA driver 550. So you can just do NVIDIA-SMI, and good. If you followed the way I did the install, you will have this driver. If you don't, you can just do, hold on a second. I believe you can just run NVIDIA. Let me see. Yeah, actually, I think it's Ubuntu dash drivers devices. And this should give you a list of, yeah, there you have it. And so you will want to get this 550 driver. And so, if you don't have it just fresh on the install, you would do this. You would then do apt install NVIDIA drivers and then dash 550. I'm not going to run that because I already have it, but that's what you would do to get that there. And let's just check on the upgrade. Okay, that's still going. As soon as that's done, this will take off. And while that's working, why don't we go ahead and get the Octa docs that we're going to need to follow. And it looks like you guys can see everything pretty decently. So I'm just firing up the web browser here. Ubuntu comes stock with Firefox. I actually prefer Brave, but we'll just use this for right now. So you're going to come on over and go to docs.Octa.Space. Is that right? Let me check here. Yeah, docs.Octa.Space/installation. And this is where we're going to, you're going to read up on everything that we're doing here. Because I'm moving pretty quickly through this, walkthrough video. However, we're going to be able to copy and paste the commands here. And so, we've gotten past this 550. We are going to need to port forward, especially if you're going to be running the VPN services. So you're going to need to go into your router and port forward 51,800 through 51,816. I will do this and show you how it looks on mine, but it's going to be different for you depending on whatever kind of router you're running. And then we need to get the correct NVIDIA drivers. And this is the step that we are focused on right now, is getting the storage configuration set up properly. And we're going to be using XFS file system to mount the space, the image here to this directory. So let's just go ahead and check on our upgrade. Good, that's done. Good. And so now we have the curl command installed here. We already got the driver, so we're not worried about that. So let's close out of some of these extra terminals here. The other thing I like to install is HTOP, so we can just kind of like watch things. So we'll do apt install HTOP. Apt install HTOP, and that will enable us, whether we're in the server setting or desktop, to be able to just monitor our physical specs here, the amount of RAM and memory. Swap memory. I just want to say 40 gigs. What? Should say more than that. Should have our whole hard drive in there. So let's just go ahead and take a look here at the hard drive, and that's not right. And make sure that we have the correct amount of space on our hard drive. There it is. So we have 972 gigabytes free. So we're going to create the image here. To close HTOP, you do F10. That didn't work, or Control C. All right, cool. So we are now going to configure our storage here. So we're going to do apt install yes xfs progs. I never can say that properly. Whoops. We are going to just copy and paste that in and install. And this part is very simple, guys. You should be able to follow this pretty easily. And so the way they have this, the way we're setting up this loop through device, as described here, is with they are using 200 gigs. We have a little bit more space than that, so we're going to make it a little bit bigger for people trying to rent this system to do compute work. So we're going to go ahead and copy and paste this first command here. And I'm actually going to just up the size to, we're going to give them 800 gigs, leave a little bit left for the system. And so we're going to do F allocate here. Now we need to format this into the XFS file system. So we're going to go ahead and copy and paste that command. And it looks like it did its job there. Now we need to mount it. So we're going to do echo quote /docker hyphen data.image here, and we're going to copy and paste this in. This will make it so that it stays mounted when the system restarts, I believe. So we're going to run that, and that has done its job. Now we're going to make directory here. So we're going to make the directory var lib docker, and then we're going to mount to that directory. So hopefully that works. And it looks like it went pretty well. And shockingly, believe it or not, guys, that's it. And so, like I said, we need this curl command. So we have installed that. Hopefully you did, like I said. And now it's time to install the Octa.Space rental software. So here we go. And it is downloading. All packages are up to date. Let me see if I can get a little closer. We'll zoom in so you guys can see what's going on there. And so this is installing. I'm actually just going to let this go so you guys can see what it looks like as it installs, just to make sure that yours is working properly as well. So, if this is boring for you, just skip through this part. I'll make sure to put the video segments on there. But we're just going to let this do its thing. And there you have it. So you're going to need this token. Probably shouldn't be showing this to you, but that's okay. To come on over into your Octa.Space and get everything set up.
All right, guys, moving right along. So the next thing we're going to do now that we got our whole entire node set up and Ubuntu on there is we need to, bring over that token and get it synced up with the actual marketplace over here on Octa. So you're going to log in to Octa.Space. I just use my GitHub account to authenticate my Octa account, and then I'm in that way. You can use Google or email or whatever it is. And this part is very, very simple. So you're just gonna, this is the landing page here, and you're gonna go to nodes, and you are going to add a new node. And you're now going to, I'm going to create a new node. I'm going to do, this is my second one. So I'm going to do Octa 02. This is a residential node. And this is where I'm going to type in my token. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and type it here. And all right, so I just added it in there. And once you get, once I add my token in and name it, then you need to make sure that you come on over. So after you add your token and name your node, you have to come on over into your profile and add your withdrawal address so that it becomes active in the settings. And so, you need to have an Octa wallet that you're going to withdraw this to. If you have MetaMask, you can just add Octa chain on your MetaMask. You can just come on over to Chainlist and do Octa and connect. I have my address already in here from MetaMask I have on a different system. And so whatever wallet you're going to use, you're going to need your wallet address that you want to withdraw your rental earnings to. So go ahead and do that now. Make sure you have your address. Then you just come on over into the profile section and settings, and we're going to add our withdrawal address. So that's pretty simple. So we're going to come on over here. You click on the little profile icon here, and then go to settings. And you will add in your address, which I have done here already. So I'm just going to leave it because that's my address in here already. We'll click update just for safe measures. And there you go. You have added your address to your withdrawal address. And so let's see, it sees Octa 2 here, and it still needs to do the verification. So while we're waiting for that, once that gets populated, you'll see all the hardware specs there, and you can decide, oh my God, I need to open the ports. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so I've hopped on over here into my router, and I've already just got to the NAT forwarding, port forwarding section, and we need to port forward, I think it's 81,000, here we go. I'm sorry, 51,800 through 51,816. So I got the local IP address for the server I just set up. I just did the command IP space ADDR space show and got my local IP. And then we're going to do 51,800 to 51,816. That is the range. Let's just double check that, make sure. 51,800 to 51,816 on the correct, local IP address. And this is a port range. Ah, crap. 51,800 through 51,816. Okay. All right. So I got my withdrawal address in. I got my ports open, and it has recognized my second node. And so we can come on over into here and see the reliability score. Will take a little while for it to populate. But now you can click into this and you can see that the hardware is now recognized. So I got my AMD Ryzen 7 5700X. It's got the motherboard, the cores, RAM, the 800 gigs we allocated there, my 4070 Super. It is running the tests. It's got almost all of them done now. So my disk write speed, I guess that's write and read. I'm not totally sure there. And all these various scores for people that are interested in renting. This configuration setting is where you're going to come and set your prices. If you think in Octa, you can just toggle this here, or if you want to think in USD, that's fine too. You will set your rate. So I set mine to 15 cents per hour for the base rate. The storage, I guess, per gigabyte, I have set to 5 cents. Hopefully that's a decent price for now. And then the traffic, I've done 3 cents per gigabyte there. So pretty neat. I'm actually not going to enable the VPN just yet. And then over here, you can enable maintenance and the amount of time that you allow for a rental. So I need to check into this because I want to allow very long rental periods. And then you just click to save those settings and make sure they're saved. And this is where you can see your earnings. So, you know, this one is still doing its verification process. And so that's pretty much it. Once you start getting people renting your server, you'll see those sessions populating there. And so this one I've had up for a couple days now. The reliability score is 10%. Really, I think like 2 or 3 days. And it's been now rented this last session for about 15 hours. So that's pretty cool. And that's just a 3070 Ti. So yeah, guys, that's how you do it. So I'm gonna leave all the commands in the video description. I'll leave a link to my Discord if you want to ping me with any questions. I'll also give a URL to the Octa.Space Discord themselves. They're super helpful in there. Hopefully this is beginner friendly and can get you guys renting. So far, this first rig with, you know, a 3070 Ti is doing better than Salad. So we're gonna monitor this. I have this hooked up to the watt meter, so now I'm gonna really see. Right now, I can see it's doing 154 watts as it's busy doing these initial verification tests, I think. So, you know, I'll keep you guys posted. Yeah, thanks a lot, and I hope you guys enjoy getting your rental set up.